Welcome to Ascension 17, the podcast to assist you in ascending your personal limitations in order to reach your full potential as a sovereign spiritual being of light. Sponsored by Ascension17.com, the place to go for ascension guidance, training, and healing. And now here's your host, Cynthia Clark, Spiritual Intuitive. Hello there, my spiritual friends. I'm Cynthia Clark, your spiritual intuitive and palmistry and tarot expert. And today I am interested in sharing some information with you about a special day that is coming up, the 22222. 2/22/2022. That's a lot of twos, isn't it? So I definitely wanted to bring that day up because there is so much anger out there. It is getting ridiculous. Have any of you noticed that in the year of the tiger? Here we are, the water tiger year in full swing. And boy, that animosity energy is really ramping up. So I wanted just to give a little example of that that happened to me the other day. I was traveling into the Four Corners region of Arizona, and I was going through Tuba City, which, if you've ever been there, it's a very, very small town with not a lot of places that are available to stop and actually get something to eat. So we stopped at a Subway sandwich shop in Tuba City. And this, of course, is Navajo country, too. It's very close to the Monument Valley. It's a beautiful place, actually, though. If you think of like that desert beauty, it definitely has that. But anyway, I walked into this restaurant, and suddenly this woman just started yelling at me. And at first, I didn't even realize that she was talking to me because she was yelling from clear across the room. And there were only 3 other people in the store. And apparently I was the 4th, and that was just too many people. So she literally yelled at me to get out of the store. And it's like, okay, it's lunchtime, you're a place of business. Has this happened to anybody else out there? I was actually just so surprised by the sudden animosity being directed toward me. I didn't even realize she was talking to me for a while. So once I figured it out, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to leave. And I'm definitely not coming back in. Not if I'm going to be treated like that. So that hatred energy, it's amazing to me that it's so strong and powerful still out there. And it's important that we look at it again from this higher perspective, right? We need to be compassionate. We also need to not get run over, right? We need to set up our own sacred boundaries. This is a challenge for light workers like myself, because I've been, over the years, people can be quite cruel. They've called me a witch. I've been, I've been the recipient of some negative energy, which always surprises me because I'm very easygoing. I'm very non-judgmental towards other people. I tend to be very freedom oriented. So, and the reason is because I know that if you violate someone else's free will, you are actually creating karma for yourself, and you're going to have to pay that karma back. So I look at it from that spiritual perspective of, I'm not here to create more karma for myself that I'll eventually have to just pay back. So I'm careful what I say. And it's also getting to be so ridiculous that I need to speak up. And I had a dream in the last couple of days, and it's very unusual for me to have repetitive dreams. Sometimes I'll have themes in my dreams where I'll see a certain symbol presented in different ways, and I'll be like, oh, that's an interesting symbol that keeps coming up. But it's unusual for me to have like the exact same dream. So when that happens, it's the universe is really trying to get my attention. And I encourage you to pay attention to your own dreams, because they are also messages from your higher self trying to communicate with you so that you can then interpret what is going on and take action. Ultimately, it's about taking action. So this dream was about being naked. Okay, but I wasn't totally naked. I was only naked from the waist down. So I had no pants on, I had no underwear on, I had no shoes on. But I had a top on. So I thought that was interesting, and I had this dream now twice. And so I meditated on it today, and I was asking myself, what does this mean? So a naked dream, by the way, simply means that you are showing yourself as you truly are. Okay, so that's it's a form of authenticity. It's also a form of vulnerability, right? When you're naked, you feel vulnerable. So for me to only have my top on was indicating that I'm not speaking up enough. I'm keeping part of myself hidden. And that has definitely been the case this goes back from past lives of being persecuted, being burned at the stake, being hanged. A lot of the light worker people, we tend to be quite passive because we are holding on to that energy of our past lives where we've been persecuted. And I know this is definitely in my energy field. So I've learned to keep my mouth shut, not create too much drama or tension. And I try to be very careful with my words. But there's so much going on right now that is just completely insane that it's getting to the point where I need to start speaking up more. So I try to do that in this podcast. And I'm going to be doing it more and more. However, I'll probably do most of it in places where I know I won't be censored or judged, most likely inside my own membership, which you're welcome to check out. It's called the Blue Rose membership. So, and this leads me back to the 222. So having all of this energy, this negative kind of anger, animosity energy, it really is an opportunity that is opening up with this 222 number. I've been seeing repetitive numbers for many years now, and maybe you have too, where you'll see like 1111 or maybe 333, 444, 222, all of these like repetitive numbers. It's the universe's way of communicating with you. And it shows that you're in synchronicity. You're in you're outside of linear time, and you've entered in synchronistic time. And I've been following these numbers now for probably 20 years, at least. So the 222 represents harmony and the balancing of karma. So I do feel like we are collectively balancing a karma that has been pushed from our egos, pushed from our distortions, pushed from our own failures to listen to our higher selves and our higher callings and that spiritual perspective. That's why I spent a whole year actually learning how to fly an airplane so that I could get that eagle perspective and putting me also in the present moment. So being in an airplane has taught me a lot about perspective. And now that I am a private pilot, I'm carrying that forward into what I do now to assist people with their ascension process. So when we're stuck in the mud, we're stuck in the soup, we're stuck in the anger and the frustration, it's very important for us to take a look at how are we contributing to it or not contributing to it. And ultimately, it is my intention to guide people and help people, including myself, to not respond to that anger. So, for example, I could have stayed in that restaurant. I could have yelled back at her. I could have done a lot of things, right? But instead, I chose to just leave and remove myself from that situation. And sometimes that's a hard thing to do, right? Because it's like, wow, okay, somebody is like trying to really push something negative on me. And, I like I said, I'd like to hear if you guys have been experiencing any of this stuff. It just seems like it's so out of control right now. We need to learn to balance this. So the 222 is all about that relationship harmony, starting with the harmony within ourselves. We need to come back to centering ourselves. We need to make sure we're spending time meditating, balance your emotions, balance your mental energy, looking at our duality, because of course we're in a third dimension, we're in a third density reality. And it's hard when we've got all this stuff being thrown at us. And we have to deal with it every day, but we can choose, we're in charge of four things. We're in charge of our actions. We're in charge of our reactions, our thoughts, and our feelings. So it's very important that when somebody is negative towards you, that you first of all, don't lash back out at them, because that just creates more of the same. But also don't let yourself get stepped on, and choose an action that is peaceful and loving. So I just want to point that out in the year of the tiger, and this is such an unbalanced year overall, we really need to work on balancing out that energy. So I would like to invite everybody who's listening or watching, if you're watching the video, to just take a look at your own anger level. Okay, like your own, and I mean this in the most compassionate way possible, but how do you personally respond to these types of situations? How much time do you spend thinking about it? How much time do you spend emotionally charged? What is your response in the world? These are the things that we need to pay attention to. And how can we elevate our consciousness to be more loving and more compassionate, more understanding, but also being authentic, right? Because again, it goes back to that naked dream I had. And I take it very seriously, because it is always my intention to be authentic. And I'm realizing now that keeping myself just hidden and only letting in my very inner circle knows my true feelings about certain things, that it's actually pushing away some of my authenticity. So if you are feeling that way as well, where you feel like you can't be yourself, you can't say what you really think, you can't respond honestly, something's wrong with that. Something is wrong with that, and that needs to change. You need to be able to express yourself honestly, openly. Of course, people are going to disagree with you. I mean, people disagree with me all the time. That's okay. I don't expect people to agree with me, but I do expect to be able to speak, and I do expect to be heard. And I think that is really what is lacking right now is people are not listening. People don't, they just react, very unconsciously. They don't take time to actually look at another person's perspective, or, what is the illusion, right? Because we are all living in this illusion right now, and it's just getting to be more and more ridiculous every day, right? So we need to be able to come together and actually express ourselves without being judged or yelled at. And I think that is something that we could all work on. And so we're moving into Pisces for this month of March and the end of February. So Pisces energy is emotional, and it's also very secretive. And we're combining that with the tiger, which is ferocious and independent. Okay, so there, on the negative side, again, we can just see more and more of the same. But on the positive side, Pisces is very spiritual and very reflective and also very compassionate. And the tiger represents courage and confidence and independence, that sovereignty, which I am always an advocate for. Nobody should violate your free will. And you should be able to, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you should be able to pretty much live your life the way you choose. So this is our opportunity now to go within, reflect, and hopefully balance some of this just crazy energy that's all around us. So I would invite you to just take a moment with me right now. Let's go ahead and just take a deep breath. Okay, just inhale. And I want you just to inhale loving compassion. Okay, and let's just, when we exhale, exhale out anger, frustration, anything that is bothering you. Just let it go. Feel your shoulders kind of relaxing. Feel it just like run off of you, like water. Feel it like rain, like dripping off of you. And just feel, bring in some beautiful pink energy, that pink compassion energy. Just bring some of that in. Let it swirl around you. Feel the love from the universe. The universe loves you. The universe loves all of us, regardless of what we do. So just go ahead and feel that right now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes again and just, hopefully you feel better. I know I do. So I'm going to have some fun new things that I'll be introducing to you in the next couple of months. So stay tuned for that. I've got some projects that I'm working on, and hopefully I will be completing them in a reasonable amount of time. And in the meantime, I am available for readings if you're interested in a palmistry reading or a tarot reading. If you need some spiritual guidance, Or if you need some healing around some of this anger energy, my goodness, we all could use that. We could do a session that's custom made for you if you're interested in that. So these are all things you can do, and you can find it on ascension17.com for more information. So in the meantime, have a beautiful day. I wish you nothing but love and compassion and sovereignty as you progress in your spiritual pathway. So until next time, this is Cynthia Clark. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for tuning in to Ascension 17. Are you interested in ascending your personal challenges and limitations? Are you seeking a higher perspective for your life so you can reach your full potential? Just go to ascension17.com and sign up for your free palmistry heart chamber report to discover a new way to free yourself from emotional limitations.